What did you think this video would do realistically? Click here to become a girl. Did you expect A, to click on the video and then magically through the screen this magical sparkle effect occurs and then suddenly you're a girl? Or B, did you expect a couple of minutes of amazing trans affirmation? Well, if you're hoping for B, you're in luck. But for the people who wanted A, don't worry, there'll still be amazing tips to help you get closer to your goal. For those new here, simply wanting to be a girl is a pretty surefire sign of being a girl. Cis men don't really go, "Gee, I can't wait to turn into a girl. That would be my dream." That's not really what happens. If you watched a couple of videos in the Click This to Become a Girl cinematic universe before, don't worry, refreshments are over there. Help yourselves, you know where it is. So why is it so common for people to want a simple transformation to become a girl? Well, there's many reasons. I think a big one is feeling like we're not valid enough or feeling like we can't just live as a girl, right? I mean, cis-het-normative society, or society that prioritizes cisgender and heterosexual lenses of being, I guess, will make it seem like it's very exceptionally rare to be transgender. And it is true that it's less common for someone to be transgender than cisgender. So yes, it is true that like 99% of people are cisgender. However, 1% still exists, right? Just because something is statistically less likely doesn't mean it can't happen to you, right? And in this case, it's being transgender. It's okay if you feel like you would feel happier living as a girl. And also, while watching this video at any point, you can decide, nah, being a guy is chill, and leave the video. That's fine. Figuring out if you're either trans or not trans is perfectly fine. Either outcome is fine equally. There is nothing wrong with either angle, right? You can be the token cis guy in a group of lots of trans women at the local Magic the Gathering tournament. That's fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. Equally so, you can be the one trans woman in a group of cis people. That's fine. But a random YouTuber on the internet, I don't have stereotypical girly hobbies. That's also fine. You don't have to have done ballet as a 5-year-old to be allowed to live as a girl, because chances are, due to social stigmas, it was actually less likely that you would have been given the opportunity to try girly hobbies, which means, statistically, it's actually pretty common for a trans person to have never attempted gender-affirming hobbies. You're allowed to give them a go, that's fine. Equally so, you can still enjoy masculine hobbies, and you can even pick up new masculine hobbies after transitioning, that's fine. Transition, fun fact, does not mean you have to become a stereotypical 1960s housewife. No, you can be all sorts of things. Women can be all sorts of things. And being a stay-at-home mom, perfectly fine. Doing other ambitious things, also perfectly fine. It's about balance. It's about just going that there's different people and will do different things, and you're allowed to be an individual that does different things. If you figured out way later you're transgender, that's perfectly fine. As long as you are in fact still breathing, there is time to transition. If you're older than me, younger than me, that's fine. That's chill. You're allowed. It's fine. You have my permission if you feel the need to have permission. You don't have to be attracted to men to be allowed to be a woman. You can be a lesbian, you can be a bisexual, you can be a straight trans woman. It's like whatever, right? You can be ace. Do what you want. That's fine. Just bear in mind that if this video did have magical properties, you would have already been too far gone. You would have already been transformed into that gender. You're several minutes into a video. It's called Click Here to Become a Girl, and you're still watching, and that's fine. If you want to be a girl, you can be a girl. That's chill. I don't possess magical powers to make you do things that you don't want to do. And I also don't have magical powers to do things that you do want me to do. Once I transitioned, I felt pretty good in my body. I felt really present. I felt like I was really there. I wasn't looking at life in third person. I was looking at it in first person, right? Yeah, I understand that social media has created this image that like, you'll see like this super masculine guy, and then like the camera will transition, and then suddenly she is a super attractive trans supermodel girl, TM. I understand that transitioning won't inherently make everyone a supermodel or whatever, but social media sure makes it feel like it does. You don't have to be a small, frail, ooh-woo twink to be allowed to transition into a girl. It doesn't matter if you've ever had other girls saying like, oh, you would make a good girl. If you've never heard someone say that, that's fine. Random cis people pointing at cis men and saying you would look so much better as a girl, it's only something that happens in feminization anime and manga, okay? Chances are if you looked at the photo gallery in your own phone, I'm gonna wager there's probably not that many selfies of you. Now, if you've ever tried wearing femme clothing, I want to ask, is there more photos on your phone of you dressed in femme clothing than mask clothing? The answer doesn't matter, but it's something to consider, right? At least for me, I had stacks of femme photos when I was secretly cross-dressing. And in comparison, I had no photos of me in boy mode. The funny inconvenience of that is running a trans YouTube channel. I try to show before photos a lot of the time. I don't have that many because I didn't feel good about myself to take any. Feeling better as a girl is the only criteria to in fact be transgender. All transgender means is to go from one gender to a different gender. A gender that's different to the one assigned to you at birth. Look, at some random point in time, a doctor held you and went, yep, that's what we're putting on the birth certificate. Like some kind of RPG video game, it's like the class was selected and multiple little branching side quests were completely locked off. Opportunities completely locked off. And that's pretty dumb. Look, in some crazy hypothetical where we're born as cis women, chances are different opportunities would have presented themselves. Equally so, some would have been blocked off. The stereotypes have shifted, but if I was born a cis woman, chances are I wouldn't have had as much exposure to video games at a young age, maybe later on. But, you know, it influences things, right? I was put in every masculine team sport you can imagine, okay? I was put in baseball. I was put in football. I was put in tennis isn't a team sport, but the point still stands. The point is that there's a lot of things that I ended up doing that was influenced merely by what I had down there, which is kind of weird when you think about it. Would I have liked ballet as a 5-year-old? I don't know, maybe. I mean, I do dance today, so probably. But that's the thing, it just delayed a thing that I ended up finding out later. The only feminine sport I was allowed to do when I was really little was gymnastics, but by the time I became a teenager, if I kept doing gymnastics, it would have split off because for some reason men do completely different stuff at the Olympics than women. Why is gymnastics so gendered anyway? Point is, if someone tries to tell you you don't seem very trans or you don't seem very girl, that's fine. What does being very girl even mean? There's plenty of cis women that are allowed to live as cis women that, by the numbers, enjoy a lot of masculine hobbies and lifestyle and don't really do anything that's seen as stereotypically feminine. That's because the amount of femininity required for a cis man to be like deemed not a man or whatever is surprisingly a lot. In the long distant past, the only time anything related to being transgender was like diagnosed, back when I was diagnosed, would be if someone exhibited so many traits. They were beyond feminine. They were so feminine, they were a woman. You know what I mean? And like, that's a bit silly. You don't have to be so extraordinarily feminine that they'll make a exception for you and let you change your gender. No, it's not the past anymore. Simply put, if you think you'd be happier living as a girl, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. I mean, look at the video you clicked on and watched quite a way through and probably hit the like button. I mean, you know, it's a lot of commitment. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing bad about you. You're not inconveniencing other people. If other people are sad about it, that's kind of their problem, not your problem. You know what I mean? If you just want to live as a girl, that's fine. Understand that some opportunities, similar to gender in general, will be either closed off, but many will open too. Various things will be harder, but a lot of things will be easier, if that makes sense. Transition doesn't fix your problems, but it makes your problems feel worth solving. And that's a pretty important thing. If you feel like you're viewing life through third person rather than first person, if you feel like life is going by and you're not able to directly impact what happens in it, and you feel a lot of joy at the thought of just being a girl, that's fine. Secretly watch inspirational content that has themes of feminization, yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter. What you enjoy in a private browser is separate from, you know, your real life. It can be whatever, right? But it doesn't lock you off from being able to just live as a regular girl. Right? They're very distinctly separate. If you've heard a trans stereotype and you don't match it, that doesn't make you less trans. Equally so, you're not more trans if you exhibit stereotypes. The reason stereotypes are joked about is for social and community reasons, right? Look, it's fun to joke about how so many trans women are addicted to pickles. Except that addiction is based on one specific tea blocker that a lot of trans women don't take. Me included. I don't crave pickles, and it doesn't make me less of a trans woman if I don't. You don't have to dress like this to be trans, but you also don't have to dress like this to be trans. But equally so, you could wear that one, you could wear that one, you could wear both, depending on the day. That's fine. To be blunt, society wants there to be less trans women. So thus they'll create barriers and potential excuses or reasons why you can't transition. Understanding that these barriers are nonsense is pretty important for our mental health. Look, it'd be pretty hard to claim that women can't do certain things if people assigned male at birth started living as women. You know what I mean? It kind of breaks down a lot of their arguments just by existing. It's okay if the prospect of transitioning is terrifying because of everything else going on. That's fair. The idea of taking medication scary? That's fine. The idea of surgery scary? That's fine. You don't even have to do those if you don't want to. If you want to transition, you're allowed to transition. If you want to live as a woman, you're allowed to live as a woman. If you watched this whole video and decided you want to live as a man, that's fine. Go for it. If you want to enjoy femininity while living as a man, that's fine. If you found out you're non-binary, which basically just means you're neither, and you're kind of in the middle, that's fine. The system's designed to constrict, but being yourself is a way to loosen and live your best life. How do you do that? That's up to you. Some people feel control of their life for other things, like therapy or doing lots of exercise, lifestyle changes, career changes. Everyone does changes in their lives in different ways, and some people do multiple. Transitioning, for me at least, enabled me to live my best life and do a bunch of really positive changes for my body. Those changes I likely would have never done on my own volition without feeling happy to be here in the first place. I won't act like transition will solve every problem, but at least for me, it was very helpful in starting a positive change for myself. And if you genuinely feel the transition would help you in some way, or even just make you feel happy, that's fine. You can do it. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm proud of you. And whatever happens, you'll know that you've done your best to live your best life. Don't let anyone tell you how to live your life, and don't let anyone tell you how to be trans or be a woman or whatever. It's mostly nonsense. A lot of it's nonsense. If you've come to the conclusion that you might be transgender, or you're just curious about transgender experience in general, I upload every week a video related to trans experience. That said, last week I mixed it up with a parkour short film I made in VRChat. I'm really proud of it. I didn't think it would do amazing in the algorithm, so if you jumped across this video and you didn't know this video happened, feel free to check it out. I would love that greatly. It's a massive passion project for me. So thank you for your support. If you have any questions about being transgender or not being transgender or just whatever, it's fine. Just ask what you want and I'll try to get to as many comments as I can to help out. As always, stay hydrated and know that you are valid. I'll see you next week.